Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome to yet another exciting episode of my podcast. And as per usual, I like to bring people with unique stories and a unique narrative, and people that are slightly way off beyond the ordinary and norm. Because I just feel to a large extent that these are people worth talking to and people who are fun to talk to. I mean, common, ordinary people are less interesting, if you ask me. So in today's episode, I have somebody interesting, and I'll let them introduce themselves as per usual, because I just feel it's right to let people introduce themselves as opposed to giving them a weird introduction. So the floor is yours.
Okay, so hi guys. My name's Kaumbulani, or you can call me William. Most people call me William.
Okay.
You know, some call me.
What does Kaumbulani mean? Sorry to even cut you from your introduction. It's just a unique. I haven't heard it before, so. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, my first name's actually Kaumbu.
Yeah.
So it's a Lunda name.
A what?
It's a Lunda name.
Lunda name.
And it's a heel, a very stubborn heel.
Oh yeah.
So it's like really thick.
Yeah.
I'm very stubborn.
Yeah.
So my grandpa gave me that name, and then I gave it a twist and added like Alani just for like artistic purposes. So it practically doesn't exist. It's
so
the only person.
It's like you just added an extension to the name.
Yeah, like I'm not the only person that has that name.
Ah.
And I gave it a meaning. I was like, Kaumbulani, I think is like a goddess of a sea or something, because like I kind of see him or her in those lanes, because sometimes I like visualize certain things when I'm like getting into like my artistic zone, or like when I'm working on like an album or an EP.
Yeah.
I usually create like an alter ego, and
Yeah.
then I like sew stuff in the lane. So
I think that's even the best place to start, like your music, your art.
Okay.
I heard some of it. I was actually shocked that you sing. I was like, there was no way I could possibly pick that out. So tell me about that. Like, why? What drives you to sing? What's the underlying reason for your music?
Like music?
Yeah.
Okay, so like I've always seen myself as a very expressionistic person, that would like to express different sides of myself, different versions that I might be perceived as, and I think it's really interesting.
Yeah. To
kind of be gifted with what word am I looking for? To be gifted with
a voice or something?
No, a voice with pop's realism.
What's that?
Okay, so realism is basically like the use of animation to kind of like tell a story artistically.
Yeah.
And like one of the artists that mentored me in that way is Melanie Martinez. I think do you know Melanie Martinez?
Melanie Martinez sounds like a unique. I'm not sure. I don't know the person.
Yeah,
anyway. I would lie if I said I do.
Yeah, she's like really cool, and like she's like one of my influences artistically.
Yeah.
And I created my first alter ego for my EP, Pity Illy.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting. The streams were great.
Yeah.
People received it really well, and like I think I was really depressed at the time. I was struggling with like extreme anxiety and depression at the time, and I lost so much weight. But I was like, I'm gonna get through this. So I wrote the album the EP in 2019, and finished like 2021.
Like all that time, you took that long to write the
No, I wrote songs in 20. It was kind of like a growth process for me.
Okay.
I would record stuff and I wouldn't like how I was sounding until like I found
something perfect.
Yeah, like the end product, like the final product.
And getting your music on Spotify, I mean, that's a plus. I mean, it's, you know, like if you want to get your music out there, you obviously have to use your own fresh ideas, your own instrumentals and stuff.
You own everything.
Yeah, you own everything. There's no. It's easy for a lot of artists to just vie for copyright-free instrumentals and stuff like that, but it's hard to put in the work and then also get your music on Spotify.
And also just like the general vibe that you want, you know. I was kind of like, I wanted to be like typical dark pop, with like a twist of rock, because I'm a rock star.
Oh yeah. And I was even telling somebody that you kind of like remind me of Birdie. I don't know if you know Birdie. She's I don't know if that's indie music or something like that.
Could be indie.
Yeah.
Or dark pop. Yeah, indie and dark pop are kind of the same. It's kind of like Lana Del Rey vibes, if you know.
Yeah. No. And I was thinking you kind of have the same vibes. And your music is really unique as opposed to what people...
To the usual.
Yeah. So how far do you see yourself taking?
My music?
Yeah.
Well, like, I'm working on like a 7-track album right now. And like, I think this is going to be like the biggest project that I'm probably going to put out because it's addressing so many issues.
Yeah, true.
And I think it's that one album that everyone needs to listen to and like see.
So out of the album that you're currently working on, what would you say is that one song that stands out for you? I know you still have like tracks to write. And stuff.
Yeah, I've already written everything.
You've written everything.
Yeah, I wrote it in a week.
So that makes the question interesting. What song would you say is the song that really makes that punch for you?
Well, I don't think I should give it off because...
Oh, no, yeah, you could like give a tip of it. I mean, to just prop people up to feel the need to listen.
Okay, so I'm just gonna give the lyrics, and the first verse goes like, hair locked down, tied blue.
That's it.
Yep. So if you pick that off...
I mean, I couldn't...
Okay, I'm gonna give you the title at least. It's called Mercurial Summers, and that's the name of the album too. Yeah. Mercurial is a state of like unpredictableness and constantly changing of emotions.
Oh yeah. A lot of people though. Anyway, I digress. So aside from the music, what makes you you? Like, what's that thing? What's that other thing you're passionate about? And blend that question too to the fact that you are now doing media and communication studies. Why did you vie for this course? Is it the course that you felt would help you, like, as an artist or as a voice out there, or it's just like you found yourself here, as most people do by accident because you applied for something else or you applied for a whole different course, but the fact that it was the only space available, you got your place in. What exactly happened in your case?
Well, honestly, it wasn't really like that.
Yeah.
So basically, I got accepted at a university in America, and I was supposed to leave for the US. But before I could leave, I got really sick. I had bipolar.
Oh yeah. That's how.
So I was having like manic episodes, and you should read about them. They're like really bad. Like you basically like disconnect from reality and all these things. So like I was on a lot of medication and everything. So it was kind of like a last resort. And my mom was like, you know what? I think it's best because we've got like a lot of family in Lusaka. Why don't you go to Unza? Because she was here too, and she did the same course.
Oh.
And I kind of looked at it from a point of it helping me to grow artistically and as a person and for the experience. There's like so many... I feel like the possibilities are endless with media and journalism studies because I obviously want to end up a journalist. I'm pretty sure I'm going to fall into like something else, but I just really want the qualification because like it's an amazing course. It's diverse.
Yeah, true.
And it's like beautiful.
And I feel like having your first degree as a media and communication degree sets you off on a good plane because you learn how to communicate, you learn how to write, and a lot of people don't know this stuff, and we usually take advantage of all these skills.
Yeah, so true. You know?
Yeah. So that being the case, what would you say? What would you say you're seeing yourself take this? Because you said that initially it's just to help you as an artist.
Yeah.
But is there any underlying or any third layer to, like, is it just because don't you see yourself putting your... And I noticed you don't run a YouTube channel, right?
I do, but it's well, it's a funny story.
Yeah.
I used to run a YouTube channel when I had an Android phone.
Then now you have an iPhone.
Yeah. So
and then you still don't run a YouTube channel.
It's crazy.
What happened? So what's the difference? Why were you running it when you had an Android phone as opposed to
you could download YouTube on an Android and you can't really download. There's like restrictions for
downloading
YouTube on like
you
iPhones.
Ethical phone users.
Yeah, so it's really bad. So when I get a new phone, I wanna have like 2 phones.
Yeah.
So when I get another one's going to be for my YouTube. And I want to start like a Patreon also.
Oh yeah.
Or a GoFundMe.
It's viable though, like to have a Patreon account here.
Yeah, I think it is Patreon or GoFundMe. You could use Instagram also.
Yeah.
I saw something on Instagram, but I think I'd have to like update my app or some shit. Yeah, something like
some
that.
guy mockingly said, instead of like trying to get Patreon, we could just do it, man.
Right? Yeah, that would actually work, but I don't think people would take it serious. But like, I wanna raise money for like trans kids or like trans children.
In fact, that should get us to the juicy part of this conversation. You are a very peculiar person, starting from how you dress, how you carry yourself, like your style, your whole being. I mean, your very existence is just peculiar in itself. Like, so why do you do that? Is it just the fact about how you dress, how you want to carry yourself, or there's more to it?
Well,
because I mean, look at me. Like, you don't dress like the average person, and then you don't carry yourself as the average person. So obviously, there's something deeper than just probably clothes preference.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so my clothes, my dressing, my unique sense of fashion.
Yeah.
Well, I would say it comes from the intricate separation of masculinity and femininity that coexists in me. Because it took a lot of understanding that I'm an embodiment of both. So it's something very spiritual. Yeah. It's something very out of this world. It's something magical. It will be really difficult to explain in a day because it's like so much. But I'll give you the preface. Like, growing up as a kid, like, I'll wake up and I'll feel like a girl sometimes, and I'll wake up and I'll feel like a boy, and I'll be like, why do I feel this way? I thought it was really normal because like you're a child and you're exploring. Yeah, true. So they were supportive and they bought me. I never played with cars. I think I played with one car for my aunt. Yeah. I got an aunt in the US, and she like sent me this really nice toy truck. You could do like flips, and that was like the only thing that I had. But the rest were dolls. I had like a collection of 40. Yeah. Yeah, so I just...
So you'd say like some of it boils down to how you were socialized growing up.
Well, you could say so. How, I think the general environment also, it really did contribute to the person I am today. And I think dolls also really did contribute because, I mean, I look like a doll, so... Yeah,
true. And I like that point that you brought out. Like you're sort of like two forces. Mm-hmm. You have the masculine side and the feminine side. Yeah. And for a lot of like average day guys like Jim and Jax, they usually have the masculinity tends to dominate the femininity. Yeah. So like in your case, have you had like any like social backlash because you seem like your feminine side kind of like
overpowers the masculine? I get a lot of backlash from people, especially on campus. Like a few weeks ago, there was like a meme that was trending on me. They were like, "Oh, it's Unza Ben Lombe," and I was like, they say that, and like I really do respect Ben as a person. Like, I mean, he's okay. He's just working hard and he's trying to make a living. And like, why would anyone give him backlash? Like, he's just living, Yeah, true. And I think we as humans should be humane and at least just accept everyone for who they are and just be like kind to everyone, because I mean, you just never really know what people are going through.
Exactly. And especially now that we're in an age where everybody slightly becomes more informed on mental health and stuff like that. Exactly. This is the time to just like, extend an olive branch to people as opposed to just being overly critical. Yeah. But I can understand the case though why most people tend to behave like that, because it's deeply embedded in our culture and the fabric of our religious ideas that the average day boy should behave a certain way. Like why so what gives you the confidence and the strength to just defy the norms and just redefine who you want to be?
Well, as a kid, I would always tell myself, why be normal when you can be Barbie?
For a minute there, I thought you're going to say you can be extraordinary.
No.
But Barbie's better.
Exactly, because it's Barbie. She's a controversial, commercial, true. And most famous doll. Yeah, true. Anyway, well, like, I would always tell myself that it's okay to be different and it's okay not to be like the usual. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if everyone was the same, life would have been boring. Yeah, exactly. So we learn from each other every day. When people look at me on the outside, they probably have like so many things to say about.
Yeah, and so
because
many
that's what.
questions to
Yeah, so
ask.
many questions. Because that's what they perceive me as. But like, if they get to know me on the inside, I'm actually a whole different person. I wouldn't want to break down what kind of person I am, because I think my friends would define me better. People that have got to know me on like a more personal level would be like, oh, you know, he's actually a very understanding, kind, loving, humane person.
Yeah. So how do you deal with all the stereotyping, the prejudice, and the labeling? How do you handle that?
Well, like, I actually got onto like a spiritual journey.
Okay.
Like, so I'm not really, I wouldn't call myself religious, but I'll call myself spiritual.
Okay.
So, yeah, I read about like meditation and how it helps the soul.
Meditation?
Yeah, I read about...
Guy. Do you know Sam Harris?
No.
He's like a neuroscientist / atheist, but he's really big on meditation. So yeah.
Yeah, I read about meditation, and I read about chakras, how to balance your chakras, how to align and be in coordination with the universe, understanding the synchronicities around you, and understanding the many signs that the universe may try to send to you.
Okay.
And I got into the practice, and like, it really did help me spiritually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was also learning how to read tarot.
Oh yeah, those sound like interesting ventures.
Mm-hmm.
But since you talked of your spiritual journey, I think this is the best time to ask this. Like, how about from the religious side of the story? Like, have you gotten a lot of religious backlash? And if you have you dealt with it?
Well, yeah, I have. Like, I've got tattoos and I've got loads of piercings. So usually when people see this, they're like, oh, he's probably Satanist, or he's probably this. Like, I'm not Satanist. What the hell?
True.
Anyway, I don't get too much religious backlash. You know, usually...
How about from family and friends? Do you come from an overly religious family? Religious in a conventional sense. Obviously not your spiritual. I mean, like, everyday church going folks.
No, I think me and my mom are actually empaths.
Oh, okay.
So we're very spiritually enlightened. We can feel other people's emotions, and we will mirror their emotions.
Oh, okay. So if they like... So if, just out of curiosity, if they carry a lot of like negative emotional baggage, you reflect the same?
No, I feel it, and like, how know what exactly I'm feeling. Sorry, let me go on. I'm so tired, guys. I slept off 4 in the morning, by the way. I had a really long day. A long night, rather.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, like, if it's negative energy, you basically feel it. Yeah. And you can tell where it stems from.
Okay.
So yeah.
And then away from the religion, I was only interested about it because, I mean, we're still in Zambia, and a lot of people are so orthodox, conventional, and sad to say, antiquated. And some of these conversations, they're not ready to have them because of a lot of barriers. But
exactly.
How about has the way you carry yourself, or the way you approach life, somewhat affected your like sentimental relationships, if you've had any?
Sentimental relationships.
Or has there been like has there been like somebody who tried to force you to be a certain way because they feel like they're much better off bonding with somebody who's like that?
Well, yeah, like I'm gonna say something really crazy.
Yeah, true.
Like, my dad used to tell me to like mask myself.
Okay.
So I didn't think it was okay. Like, why run away from who you are? Like, be true and authentic to yourself and not live a lie. Because I feel like many people are living a lie. Yeah. Especially in this community, this society that we have. Yeah. Let me make it small. Like the Unza community. Yeah. We have so many people, so many different kinds of people with different kinds of backgrounds. Yeah. But I feel like they've got so many things to hide. And not everyone is willing to live their truth. And I hope that if quite a number of people do get to watch this, I hope you do start to live your truth and perceive life differently. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another interesting question I could possibly ask. So what do you think about the way talked earlier about how you want to support the LGBT community. How do you want to do it? Perhaps we could talk about that.
Well, like mostly, I was thinking of doing this thing because I feel like a lot of LGBT people are very artistic.
Yeah.
So like, I would like to set up like a school, like a humane foundation, where we could support like different kinds of art and nurture. Okay, it wouldn't only be for LGBT people, but we would love to give them some kind of like mentorship to make them know what it's like to be LGBT, understand the feelings and the emotions as a kid, and just grow up not to be judged, and kind of like create like a safe haven and safe space. And I would also want to do that with my music. Like when my music grows, I would really want to be a huge supporter of like the LGBT people and like send them funds and, you know, be like a charity donor for
because they're like a vulnerable minority.
Yeah, they really are.
Especially in a country like
Trust me, there's so many here.
Yeah.
There's so many of them. And
many of them, I think, opt to not come out open just because of...
because of like the restrictions. You may get like arrested for like 30 years and blah, blah.
Yeah. And you might as well have this like huge social backlash. You don't want to lose certain friends that you've come a long way with. Because I mean, but it's ironic again. If you could lose friends based off of who you are, then were they really friends?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Were they really friends?
Okay, so what would you think is the best thing you would like us to close off on?
Close off on?
Or what do you think is that one aching thing that you feel we haven't addressed?
I feel like we've touched everything. Why do you think we haven't touched?
Yeah, I also feel like we touched everything.
We've exhausted almost everything.
Yeah. So, like, what would you say? What would be your word of say both consolation as well as a word of encouragement to people who wanna, like, you know, just come out open and tell their unique stories, and people who are slightly hypocritical, like you said, why pretend? So what word of advice would you hear?
The hypocritical people and people that would like to come out.
Yeah.
Okay, for the hypocritical people, I would just say, life's short to be miserable.
Yeah.
And I think that's all I have to say.
And then
for the people that want to come out, you are loved, you are cherished, you are appreciated, your existence is important, and everything that you have to say is relevant, you are heard. If you're struggling with your mental health, feel free to reach out to me on any social platforms. I'll be more than willing to talk to you, and we could have like a conversation, we could have like tea or anything, and just, you know.
And also for those people that are trying to approach you and be your friend, but they just don't know.
Yeah,
there are people like who really want to ask you all these weird questions.
Yeah,
they
actually
don't know how to do it.
I think people are intimidated when they see me.
Yeah, actually. And a little uncomfortable, perhaps.
Could be.
Yeah. So what would you say to those?
Just say hey. I'll be like, hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been nice to have you on this podcast. Hopefully, we'll have more conversations. Yeah. Especially when you release your album.
My album, yeah.
Perhaps it'll be something interesting to talk about.
It definitely would. Because it's gonna be like an audio-visual experience.
Oh yeah. And have you thought about doing videos?
Yeah, I actually have. Like, I just need like the right editors because.
Right. Take advantage of this place.
Wait, you're really good at editing.
Well, we can talk about it off camera.
Okay.
All right. So until next time, this has been a conversation with Kaumbulani, right?
Yeah, you got it right.
I hear